My name's Nick Linden. I'm a livestock officer with Agriculture Victoria, and today we're just going to look at some of the key considerations when you're selecting a supplement to feed to your stock. Another really important consideration for when you're either working how much to feed or if you're costing out a feed to work out, you need to really establish, is the feed appropriate for the class of stock that you're going to be feeding it to? So let's have a look at a really short example just to get a sense for how important that can be. So here we've got our 60 kilo heavily pregnant ewes, and we know that they need 14.5 megajoules per day. Now that's the sort of figure that you pull out of the tables, either on Lifetime Wool or the drought feeding booklets. You use those resources to work out and establish. You don't need to know that, but you just need to know where to look it up so you can find what the daily energy requirement is for the class of stock that you're proposing to feed. But there's a limitation to how much feed they can physically consume. The rumen is only so big. We can only get so many kilos of dry matter into it. There's a couple of different ways that we can establish that. Most commonly we hear it's a percentage of body weight is how much they can actually consume in dry matter. And typically it tends to range between 2 and 3.5% of their body weight they can actually consume as dry matter. Now, the issue for a heavily pregnant ewe is she's got a lot of competition for space internally because she's full of twins. A lot of space is already taken up, so there's less room that's available for the rumen to be filled up with pasture or grass or supplement or feed, whatever it might be. So because of that, I'm going to work on that this class of stock can only actually consume 2% of their body weight. Once she's lambed, that will go up, but pre-lambing, up to the point of lambing, she's going to be consuming about 2% of her body weight. Now 2% of 60 kilos, if I do my maths correctly, it comes out at 1.2 kilos of feed that she can actually consume on a dry matter basis. So she can consume 1.2 kilograms of dry matter per day. We know that she needs 14.5 kilos, or 14.5 megajoules, sorry, of energy, but she can only consume 1.2 kilos. So that means if we go through a calculation, 14.5 divided by my 1.2 means that unless, well, if we do that calculation, that comes out at, I think it's 12.15, it's close to that level, 12.15. So if we're offering her a feed that is lower in energy than 12.15 megajoules per kilo of dry matter, she will not physically be able to eat enough of it to meet all of her energy requirements. So her performance is going to be compromised. Energy density becomes a really important consideration. Is can the animal consume enough of a feed to actually meet all of her requirements? Or it could be a weaner, it could be any class of stock, but it is an important concept that we need to be thinking about. Is there enough energy in the feed, and can the animal eat enough of that feed? There's also a link when I talk about how much intake the animal can have. Obviously, if she's heavily pregnant, her intake was lower. The other consideration is if the feed that the animal is eating is of low quality, they can only eat less of it. And that's the double whammy to low quality feeds. One, they can eat less of it, but then for every kilo they're eating, actually has less energy in it as well. So it's a real handicap of low quality feeds. They eat less of it and it's got less units of energy.